Hi, everyone. I'm Cal MacLean, Artistic Director of the Clarence Brown Theater, and I'm sitting here virtually with Lucas Richman. Hi, Lucas.
Hey, Cal. I am talking to you from Bangor, Maine, where I'm the music director. I've been here for as music director 10 years with the Bangor Symphony Orchestra. But before that, I was in Knoxville with the Knoxville Symphony for 12 years. And I understand we're going to be talking about Sweeney Todd today.
Sweeney is one of my favorite pieces of musical theater, largely because of its humor, um, and largely because of its extraordinary score, um, almost all the way sung through, some spoken text, but mostly like opera, sung through. How did you perceive this challenge different than Amadeus?
Well, in terms of a new production that's different from Amadeus, we were creating so much in a way from scratch. Sweeney, as the score, Sondheim wrote, and the orchestrations were done. It wasn't on that level of not creating something, but um, this is Sondheim's opera. I mean, this is. I love conducting opera, and Puccini is uh, has to be my favorite opera composer because he was a dramatist. In every note that he used, he's telling story. And Sondheim does the same thing, where the notes, the subtlety of every little syllable has meaning. So I was just relishing the opportunity to delve into this and and learn at the steps of this great master with an American dramatist writing this brilliant opera. One of the beautiful things about this show, people say the immediate takeaway, Sweeney, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, is that, oh, well, it's a show about this guy that just slits people's throats. But it is that's so far from what it is about, and it's about humanity and terrible people doing terrible things, and how we recover from that. But this underlying, as you mentioned, humor, but the humanity and the care. Well, there's a moment I was thinking about in preparation for this today that actually is I think one of the most beautiful moments, and it's in the second act, and it's the reprise of Joanna. And this song doesn't even get a title because it's just called Joanna Act Two Sequence. And while after Anthony sings,
There is within your yellow hair, Joanna.
and then Sweeney has this lovely, lovely lullaby to his daughter,
And are you beautiful and pale, with yellow hair like her?
and he
I
sings this
want you
beautiful melody.
beautiful
What
and
is he doing
fair,
while
the
he's
way I
singing this
dreamed
beautiful
you
um,
were,
melody to his
Joanna.
daughter? He's slitting lots of people's throats. It's just the juxtaposition of these two is extraordinary and brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It's and the music is so wonderfully woven because Anthony keeps coming back, singing, echoing Joanna while he is searching for her. And Joanna appears in the insane asylum where she's been abducted, and it's an amazing piece of music, and so theatrical, so And you know, one of the things that allowed it, I think, to conquer its squeamishness or its repulsiveness that so many people, there were people who said, "Oh, I don't know that I want to see that show, Cal. It's so gross." Is that with the orchestra on the stage, it's always you're always reminded that it's about the music.
Mm-hmm. Right, sure.
And it helped us sort of focus in upon the beauty of the score and the humor of the moment. I remember that wonderful moment at the beginning of that great, have a little priest.
I was just going to say that the piccolo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Piping hot.
Yes. It's that kind of stuff. I think allowed the audience to sort of give over to the sort of wicked humor of the piece and its theatricality without having to buy into whether or not you approve. It just helps.
The way that Sondheim wrote the score, and with Jonathan Tunick's incredible orchestrations, there's not only the color palette and the orchestration, but Sondheim always writes with little musical motifs that are like these small little germs that are written for particular characters. Is there something? Does that translate into on the acting level and the dialogue? Is there something that you're aware of as a director in that way that I'm aware of on the musical level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with something as intricately worked out as Sweeney Todd, the musical motifs are, and the rhythms of them, and the intonations, and the musicality of them are part of the given circumstances of the character. Sweeney is there is a festering wound in Sweeney, and all of his, there's a hole in the bottom of the right, that has a kind of an intonation that reflects his madness and his obsession. All of the characters have some kind of musical motif, whether it's rhythmic or lyrical or melodic, that is part of their given circumstances. So you and this is how I think of myself as a kind of a musical director, is that the rhythms that I employ in structuring the scene come out of a kind of a visceral and intellectual understanding of the rhythms in the music. And that's kind of how I direct, whether it is a score like Sweeney Todd, or if it's just a script like George Bernard Shaw or Noel Coward, or Rob Casely. But I'm interested in how you, perceived this score and integrated the musicality of the orchestra into our work when we were working together in rehearsal.
Well, you have to, when you're doing a piece like this, you're thinking about the arc. You could highlight every single climax, but if you're always at this pitch, then the audience they'll say stop. So much of it is a negotiation of time and space and figuring out how to properly pace this so that the performers can feel this build all the way through, while at the same time highlighting the leitmotifs that are important and bringing those things out so the audience can say, I see a connection. In fact, you just mentioned something that I hadn't even thought about, that his entrance, Sweeney.
There's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it, and its morals aren't worth what they could spit, and it goes by the name of London.
you know, ba, 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 da, ba, ba. And what else? Who else sings that? Da, 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 da.
He means to marry me Monday. What will I do? I'd rather die.
Yeah, his daughter.
His daughter.
I have a plan.
Wow. That's that energy, but it's pitched at in a different octave, in a different with a different meaning, but there's a familial connection there. I mean, I didn't even, it just came out now because of our conversation. There are things in the song Epiphany that elements to this song that come out that he's introduced earlier in the show. So you hear this, the music of the festering music, and you hear all of this, and you hear what's going to be coming with the knowledge of the razor, you know, these are my friends. That music, those leitmotifs come into and forge this expression in this moment of what he needs to express. And then having established those ideas, then as things fall apart, one of the most difficult moments in the show is towards the end when they're looking for Toby, and you have all of these leitmotifs now broken apart. All of the songs are broken, and they're sung on top of each other as they're looking for this young boy.
Toby, where are you,
Nothing's
lad?
gonna harm
Toby,
you. Not while I'm around.
Toby.
Where are you hiding?
So finding I think the through line for something like that, and while the audience is not necessarily immediately aware of all these elements, it's our job as the artists to bring out the meaning, so we kind of stitch through the air and space and time a connection, so that there's an inherent, oh, I get it. I find more and more the things that I do, the compositions that I write are infused with thematic material, themes, not just the musical material, but the themes that I hopefully touch people in a certain way, and are on certain subjects that are meaningful to me, and that I, you know, people don't want to be lectured to all the time, and it's music has a way of, it's as this vibration can get into people's souls, and you know, in moments in Sweeney and Amadeus and Streetcar, you nothing can be happening, but that moment when a character is simply still, but absorbing and enlivening the music. That's what happens in purely symphonic performances. But when you have that combination of the two, theater, that's magic. That's absolute magic.